It is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. You went with a hat today instead of showing off the full lettuce.
My hair looks good today, too. I had to do it for Twins pre and post, but I don't know, man. I was like doing the dishes. I just threw this on just real quick.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you look good. You look good,
Thanks,
bro.
You too.
Thanks. Once again, today's episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, shots that help you feel alert and energized because each shot is packed with vitamins and nutrients, about as much caffeine as the leading premium coffee. Also, here's something nice for you. Contains 0 sugar. So you'll drink it in seconds. You'll feel it in minutes. It'll last for hours. It's available in a wide range of great flavors across regular strength and extra strength variety. So head on over to 5hourenergy.com. You use that code JOHNBOY. You're going to save 20% on your first order. That is the number 5hourenergy.com. Code is JOHNBOY to save 20% today. All right, we start off with a tip of the cap, and I feel like we've done this story earlier this year, maybe in part because we have. Kyle Schwarber, not one, not two, but this.
And a high fly ball to deep right field. They've come all the way back. A 3-run missile. Kyle Schwarber's third home run of the night. And the Phillies finally get that clutch hit with a runner in scoring position. They have taken the lead here in the ninth, 10-8.
Woo-wee. I mean, some of them just sound different, right?
Yeah, he's an absolute tank. Just watching him run around the bases, you're like, okay, there's some power there, obviously.
So he becomes the first Philly to ever have 2 3-homer games in the same season. And, War always tries to convince me that he's not a good baseball player. So, I mean, I understand it. I get it. But, man, when he goes on these homer binges, whether it's the month of June or sometimes in early September, he's hard to keep down.
I would say to anybody that cites that, would you want him on your team? And you'd say, in a freaking heartbeat. By the way, Chad Green gave up a 3-run homer to Royce Lewis on Sunday to give up the lead. Now another one on Tuesday. So,
well, you know what they say about that. Consistency is everything.
Good vibes to Chad Green.
All right, we're going to lead off with Shohei. He returned to Anaheim exactly 1 year after he played his final game at Angel Stadium. This time he was wearing Dodger blue. So he returns to the franchise where he became famous in this country. How would the reception go for him?
17, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, there were a lot of Dodgers fans there. Ended up hitting a triple, which eventually tied the game at this point. The fun thing was in extra innings, he got intentionally walked, and then Mookie Betts hit a 3-run homer, and the Dodgers ended up putting a 4 spot up in the 10th and ended up beating the Halos 6-2. But that's not the big part of this. Do you think that more people are going to remember Shohei for his individual excellence while he played for the Angels, or the franchise's inability to surround him with enough help?
I hate that you're making me do this to Angels fans. I mean, they're not going to remember him on the Angels. And if they do, that's exactly what they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about him and Mike Trout together, 2 of the all-time greats. And Shohei has the same amount of playoff games played as I do.
Wait a second.
0.
You don't think at the end of the day people are even going to remember him playing for the Angels?
I mean, look, yeah, like they'll know that Shohei started in Anaheim, but that's all they'll say about it. Everything else is going to be all in Dodger blue, Chris. All the highlights are going to be in Dodger blue. You might be able to say, okay, well, yeah, what about the MVP that he won there and
2 of them.
All of that? I know, but that's how it's going to be at the end of his career. Do you think he's going to go into Cooperstown as an Angel?
No, I don't. But
no, he's not.
But at the same time, because he's coming off of this second major arm surgery in 6 seasons, we don't know what he's going to be as a pitcher, perhaps ever in Dodger blue. Now, we certainly hope he returns to form. but there is that possibility of guys who have a second
You're
time
such a
chance.
doomsday guy. I'm not like that. I'm the other way. I'm the other way.
No. I mean, I'm hopeful. I want to see him. I want to see him do it, but it can't just be a matter of fact thing at this point. It cannot. So what he accomplished in Anaheim as an individual is, I mean, it's something special. It's something we had never seen it before.
Agreed. No lies detected, but I'm just saying, I think that more people will talk about, wow, like he was in Anaheim with Shohei and even Pujols, or excuse me, Trout and even Pujols. You know, we understand the context now, but later on in the future, people are going to say, wow, those three guys played together and they never were in the playoffs. Like, that's going to be what they're talking about, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. What'd you think? This is cute. They put this up on the scoreboard of Ohtani. It says used to work here. That was very funny. Did you expect more of an ovation or what?
At this point, and talking to a few of my friends that are Angels fans at a fan fest in New York that we went to, I just don't know if there's a lot of Angels fans out there supporting the team right now, or supporting the ownership, I guess I would say.
Yeah,
I think that's a better way to put it. So, I don't know. I don't know if the Angels like build this up as the Ohtani homecoming. I don't know if they did that or not. But I think I was expecting a little bit more. Yeah.
There was no there was the scoreboard welcome when he first came to the dish. I guess they didn't do a video
They
for
do the
him.
video or like a walk-up song or anything like that. That's
Yeah.
kind of what they do. I don't know, man.
I guess, I don't know that many Angels fans, in fairness. A couple, but I'm not super close with them. I'll see some soon, I imagine, once I start my NFL gig. And when that happens, I would like to ask them, like, what are their thoughts about Shohei Ohtani? Like, can they not stand him because he left? I mean, geez, they weren't going to match $700 million anyway, even if he wanted to stay. I never understood that part of it all. Like, if you know he wasn't going to stay, then why would you get mad at it just because he went to, I guess, up the freeway? Is that what it is?
I don't know how you can get mad at him. I guess I'll change my answer a little bit, Chris, because this is actually it's a fun thought process because we're talking about the future now, and I love the future. Okay?
Yes.
I feel like I live in the future. I think when it's all said and done, we might look back at 2023 Shohei Ohtani as the single greatest baseball season that's ever been played.
Wow. That's
right.
It is possible because of what he did in each of those areas. It's unlike anything.
I don't think that's like really in question now.
I don't think so either.
For a guy to, I mean, he one-dotted it, a 1.066, 44 home runs. And then on the pitching side, he had a 3.14, 23 games started. I mean, no one's ever done anything like that.
I hear you loud and clear. Speaking of Angels pitching that can really throw, Mr. Joyce, 105.5. They say that's the hardest pitch of a strikeout in a StatCast era since 2015. Some people are saying, no, rolled us through it a little. I don't care about that part. That stuff looked nasty. 105.5.
I love the story. Like like him and his brother just like trained to throw hard. So this guy it's fun to watch him blossom into what now seems like a no-brainer that this guy was going to be at the back end of a bullpen closing out games, right?
Yeah. Good for them. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he does his thing. All right, meanwhile, let's move on. Another team in the American League West, the champs. They're not going to punch their playoff ticket. They're going to be relegated to the role of spoiler over the last few weeks, and at least on Tuesday night, mission accomplished.
Deep to left field, fair ball, it's gone. See ya, ball game, grand slam. A gut punch to the New York Yankees as Holmes blows another one, and the Rangers win.
Wyatt Langford with the honors. The rookies had quite a season. By the way, kudos to Michael Kay there. I know some people like to rip on Michael Kay. I think he's pretty good at his job. That was an excellent call because usually you do not get a visiting team that loses on a walk-off grand slam with that much bravado and energy. So I just want to point that out. I thought it was a great job there. So now let's get to this. Aaron Boone was asked, you moving him? He's like, no, we're not doing this on raw motion. We'll talk about it and blah, blah, blah. Do the Yankees have a closer problem?
11 blown saves, leads the big leagues in it. I mean, if I am listening to all of my Yankees friends who watch the Yankees more intently than I do, that's no doubt about that, I would say yes. I would say Clay Holmes is a very good pitcher. I don't think he's a guy that, you don't want on your teams. Obviously, some of the, the results, like the blown saves I mentioned, they sting and they stay with you. But he still induces, weak contact. I think there's some things that you don't love about him in the closer role. He doesn't really strike guys out. Like their infield defense isn't great either. I mean, besides Volpe, I believe on the year they're negative 12 defensive runs saved throughout the infield. So like that doesn't help either. But yeah, I think the main thing here is who else are you going to put back there? They didn't really go address this at the trade deadline. Other teams like the San Diego Padres and the Kansas City Royals addressed the back end of the bullpen problems, or for San Diego, it wasn't really a problem. They just added because, well, that's what they do. I think that's the more pressing issue here. And I think that's the issue that Yankees fans have is, well, look, Clay Holmes isn't getting the job done, but we don't really have anybody else to replace him. It's not that he's like this atrocious pitcher. Go look at his Baseball Savant page and you can compare past seasons. But yeah, I think that's the issue. They have a problem because they didn't address it. They didn't add to any sort of depth back there.
Right. Could they have gotten Lucas Erceg? Could they have gotten Tanner Scott? Because you don't need to put those guys in a closer role the minute you get them. You can use them anywhere. Now, Erceg ended up moving into the closer role in Kansas City, but they can get you critical outs in the 6th inning, or they can get you 3 outs in the 9th inning right now. And I know that Erceg did not have a lot of history there, but still that's, Kansas City didn't have a guy with a lot of history back there. So that's fine. Now, I like to look at what you have, not what you should have done. And I'm sure that's what the New York radio stations are all talking about today. Well, Cashman didn't do this and he didn't do that. That's fine. Those are all facts. What are you going to do right now? Because in the American League, the Yankees have as good a shot as anybody to make it to the World Series. So how do you make sure that you don't waste another amazing season by Aaron Judge, what could be a one and done for Juan Soto, another year of Garrett Cole before he continues to get older, all sorts of stuff? Well, you could use Cousins. You could use Canely. You could use Weaver. You know how many combined regular season saves those 3 guys have?
Probably not many.
8. That's not good enough.
Here's the thing too. This trade deadline would be getting so much more flack if Jazz Chisholm hadn't endeared himself to Yankees fans. That's been like a saving grace for Brian Cashman. But this, and who knows how engaged they actually were, because it does take 2 to tango, Chris. They could have been engaged for all those guys. We don't know. But the fact that they didn't land any of them really, that stings when you're seeing stuff like this happen for them.
Yeah, it does. And so another option is throwing a starter back there, a Luis Heel, obviously, because of that arm would make sense. But his bugaboo is what? Control. We've seen it go off the rails. He has certainly improved in that area this year. Certainly has. But, man, when you're talking about really meaningful games in late September and then eventually October, going back there without a proven commodity or one that's rickety like Holmes, the Yankees can spin this any way they want. That's panic.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah, please do.
First of all, I love Luis Heel to the back end of the bullpen. I love that move. Number 2, I still believe that Clay Holmes will have a run that will make people forget all about his 11 blown saves. I do. I think he's a nasty pitcher. I do.
Good.
I get people that are mad at the results. You can be mad at the results. I mean, and there are a lot of nasty pitchers that just get hit sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how it happens. I think he's one of those guys right now. But I still believe the ability is there.
Interesting. Okay, we got much more shows still to go, but my buddy Trevor Plouffe has a few words for you.
Yeah, I was totally prepared for this too. Let me just get it up real quick. It's DraftKings. We're always talking about DraftKings on here, guys. That's what we do. In the football season, it's kicking off. It's the perfect time to dive into the action with our partners at DraftKings, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Now, that is something that we can all celebrate. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly and 1 month of NFL Plus Premium after betting just $5. So stay in on the action. Use your $250 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings, which is the place to bet touchdowns. And all you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code BASEBALL today. All one word, all caps, and bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code BASEBALL today, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
We continue on. Another nice night at Wrigley Field for Pirates rookie Paul Skenes. 5 more shutout innings as he continues to get it done. 6 strikeouts. He did have 4 walks, and he did have one very interesting run-in with a home plate umpire.
That much. Oh, no. Get back here, young man. It's outside. Don't be walking off. Doug Eddings is giving him a little grief, too. Umpires don't like that. Show me up.
He's going to walk off on the four-seamer.
Well, now we're talking to the dugout. Yeah, see? Don't take it, Doug.
You talk to him then.
Are you talking to me?
For those of you that are joining us audio only, the pitch was not close. So Skenes was factually wrong. It just wasn't even close to the strike zone. Do you have a problem with the way that Doug Eddings handled it?
I do. Yeah, I do. Here's the thing with umpires. I mean, I want to go into a couple of different parts of this. Number one, umpires don't like young players, like rookies. They love to point that out. Oh, you're a rookie. I have seniority on you. I've been around this league for 20 years. Don't you dare show me up. They love to throw that in your face. Okay. Saw it today with Paul Skenes. Who was the manager that they were saying, you just got here? That was Ollie Marmol. They did to Ollie Marmol a couple of years ago. And then even tonight, Grady Sizemore gets thrown out of the game. It was Hunter Wendelstedt, I believe, in that game. And he kind of like took a step at Grady because he didn't like Grady Sizemore being a first month manager coming at him. So they have this problem with like people who don't have quote unquote dirt on their spikes. And that's just a ridiculous thing, dude. If you're in the big leagues, we're all in the big leagues together. Okay. Number 2, Derek Shelton. How do you not get tossed right there? I think you got to go absolutely ballistic. It's the first inning, dude. It's not like Paul Skenes had been out there showing him up all game or something. This wasn't the 3rd or 4th time this has happened. It was the first inning. And you're going to get on my guy and then tell me then you talk to him. I'm getting absolutely tossed there, getting my money's worth, and just kind of making a fool of the situation because, in my opinion, it was a foolish situation.
Doug Eddings has been a major league umpire since 1998, which is a lot longer than Paul Skenes has been alive. I'm
sure he mentioned that at some point.
Here's the thing. I understand that guys' emotions get in the way, but this is not the first time that Doug Eddings has had a pitcher walk off the mound thinking it was strike 3, whether it was accurate or not. And
a lot of times that's just reactionary. That's not even planned. It just happens.
It just happens. That's the way baseball's played today. It's kind of fun when guys walk off the mound. Sometimes they have to walk back to the mound. It does happen. It's kind of a cool thing. The pitchers like it. They get a little spring in their step. They keep going. Like, that's part of their show, and that's okay. I would say this. Like, if Doug Eddings, and I don't know him personally. I know some umpires. I don't know him at all. You must know him.
I mean, I know him. I don't talk to Doug.
Yeah, is he? He was just so, right?
Okay, I mean,
fine.
I think he's a veteran umpire that wants respect, and if you treat him the way that he thinks he should be treated, he'll talk to you. But
okay,
I think this is an example of what he can get into.
All right, I like it when we have teaching moments, and I don't think you can ever be too old to learn. And I wish that Doug Eddings, at the end of the day, after the inning was over, would have walked over to Paul Skenes and said, "Listen, man, just try and clean it up. It was outside. Not going to happen." You've never had an umpire say something like that?
Yeah,
ever?
I did because I told you I played third base. So the next night, I'm next to these guys that were behind home plate every single night. So I had to talk
Okay.
to them a lot.
Yeah.
So that's, you get a little bit more into guys where you're kind of forced into to some talking, but there's no way he's going to go over and do that. And again, I cannot believe Shelton didn't get blown up.
I agree with you on that one. I think that was a missed opportunity.
It's not like he's like, hey, I got to be in this game. It's an important game. It's
no,
like,
they've fallen off the face of the world. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that was a real missed.
And you get brownies points with your ace starting pitcher for the next.
Of course you do.
5 years, man.
Particularly for a guy who's, I hope he's back next year, but you never know with what's transpired here in the second half. So yes, that should have happened. But I've seen umpires go up to pitchers in between innings and talk about stuff. Don't tell me that.
Yeah, but not after something like that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a little too far gone.
All right. Sorry, wishful thinking on my part. Anyway, let's move on. Orioles a winner on Tuesday, or maybe we should say White Sox a loser yet again, 9-0. And it got really ugly when the former White Sox Eloy Jimenez hits a bases-loaded pop-up with 2 down, and this happens. Look out, and listen up.
Oh, no! Oh, my goodness. The White Sox have just gone full White Sox. And Eloy Jimenez pop-up ends in a collision. Miguel Vargas is down with his face in his glove. 3 runs have scored.
Well, thankfully, Miguel Vargas was okay. Kevin Brown with maybe the line of the year. The White Sox go full White Sox on that one. They are on pace for what would be a record since 1900 of 126 losses. Are you rooting for them to break the record or not get there?
23 games left, correct? I think my math is right. 23 games left. They're 31 and 108.
No, I think they've played
31 and 109. This is yeah.
So there's
22 games left.
22 games left. That means they have to have. They really need to have a winning
5 and
record.
17.
They really have to have a winning record to stay away from at least tying the 62 Mets.
So 126. That's another 17 losses. So they have to go 5 and 17 to match, 4 and 18 to beat. Of course, I'm more interested in.
No. Hold on. The record is 120. They're on pace.
Oh, they're on pace for 120. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, they are on pace for 126. They just had their third losing streak this year of at least 12 games. There's only 2 teams in the history of the sport that have done that. The 1899 Cleveland Spiders, the 1889 Louisville Colonels are the only other teams to do that.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I want to see him break the record. I do. I want to see bad teams held. I want to see bad teams held accountable, Chris. And I don't think that I don't know what happened. I really don't think we're ready to unpack what has happened in Chicago over the last 3 or 4 years. There's so much going on. I don't think that we really have a grasp on it just yet. But I do think that I want to hold bad teams accountable. Nick Castellanos wants owners to have to sell the team if they lose for 2 years, which is hilarious. Not going to happen. Love it. Love that energy. But I think if they do break the record, though, it'll be talked about way more. If they sneak by somehow and they only lose 119 games, we'll talk about it's a bad season. But when you can say it's the worst season of all time, that I think keeps you in the conversation. So, I mean, yeah, I want to see it. And I feel bad for my guy, Drew Butera, man.
I feel bad for Grady Sizemore. Okay, would you, if you were on the White Sox right now, I know you want to keep winning and winning, but once it's all said and done, wouldn't you rather be a part of the team that made some history? I mean, your season sucks regardless, whether it's 119 losses or 126. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't you like to say I was on the worst team ever?
Only if like the rest of your career you like did well and had success and maybe won some games. But no, like that's like the one, I always say if it doesn't matter what kind of bold you have on your baseball reference, be proud of it. That's the one. I don't know if you're proud of that one.
If we put this out on social media, are you rooting for the White Sox to set the single season record for most losses?
Overwhelming, yes.
Do you think it'd be like over 80% in favor?
Yeah, I think it'd be like 95%. Yeah.
Oh my God. I guess
I think I don't know who would vote no on that. Who is like saying no? I don't want to see him do that. Like, is there any even White Sox fans that wanna see
anybody
that?
who has a heart, Plouffe.
Dude, clearly you and I do not. Then
Oh, that is just too brutal. Too brutal. All right. You know what we need a little bit more of in our life? To get off our ass. And with bold flavors and a refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew will get you off your ass, have you feeling like you're on an actual mountain. A mountain where the weather is always perfect. Your friends are ready to hang, and a day of epic proportions awaits. That's right. You want to go outside and have a blast. You want to turn up the competitive juices. I don't care whether it's golfing or fishing or playing a little pickup football in early September. You could be tossing a frisbee. You could do the longest throw contest. If you got a monitor set up outside, you could play your boys in video games. You could play kickball with Kickball Dad if you got his number in your cell phone like I do. You could play frisbee golf. You could play wiffle ball. You could play blitz ball. You could play pickleball. I don't care what type of ball it is. You hear me? Let's crank it up. So the mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends, grab an ice-cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and do the do. To continue on. Yeah.
no, we don't. No, hold on.
What's up, brother?
Some people are good at reading ads. I am particularly bad at it. I think I'm so bad that I actually am good. That might have been, and I don't know if that was you or this was the sheep, but that might have been the single greatest ad read of all time. You could have put any product at the end of that ad read and I would have bought it. So kudos to you and the guy that wrote that.
Just telling you, it's all about our friends. Mountain Dew. That's it. It just inspired me. I feel good about it. All right. It's always interesting. Teams with a couple weeks to go end up having their photo day. And that's what happened with the New York Mets on Tuesday. So they get out there in their nice, clean whites. And what did Luis Severino bust out? The OMG sign that's been permeating the dugout for the last couple of months. They actually took the team photo with OMG. So are you going, oh my God? Or are you going, oh my God?
I think the first one, I don't think this is the actual team photo, Chris. I think this is an extra snapshot.
But it
at least
should
I'm
be.
hoping.
It should be.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's very, that's something that needs to be in the black and white, or I guess it won't be black and white anymore. Like the yearbook photo thing, they got to be all consistent. Even me, a new school guy that lives in the future, understands that. Okay, I like that they did this. I love the song. I think the song's a banger, and this team's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm happy for them. They're doing it, man. They're gonna catch the Braves.
I loved it. I loved every second of it, and I wish that this would be the real team photo, not just the extra one that they can give to the entire team to remember the 20.
This is a great end of the season giveaway. Like they need to print this and put a calendar or something. This is great. Well, it's a beautiful photo, man.
Did you like Picture Day?
Burt Blyleven always had like a funny joke. I think I've talked about it before on this. It was disgusting and funny all at the same time, which is basically describes Burt Blyleven to a T.
It sure does.
Yeah, I had no problem with it. It was cool, man. You're part of a Major League Baseball picture. It's sweet.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, that doesn't sound like great, but okay. I mean, I dig them. I think they're fun. There was one All-Star game where I think Cal Ripken broke his nose. Roberto Hernandez, the old White Sox closer, slipped and I think accidentally elbowed the Iron Man right in the beak. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then didn't the Mets? Oh God, I'm almost positive, and I hate to say it if I'm going to be wrong, but maybe Mets fans can correct me on this. I'm almost positive that Strawberry and Hernandez got into a fight during one of the Mets photo days. Dan, look that up real quick and see.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because that's something that's what the 1980s Mets were all about, dude. Awesome team, uber talented, craziest. Go read the book on the Mets.
I saw a documentary about them.
What do you got, Dan? There you go. There it is. That's the voice of Dan Rourke, if you can hear it. 1989, Keith Hernandez and Daryl. There you go. How's that for a good memory?
We need to put Dan in a little circle down here.
Yeah, we do. We do. We
Yeah.
really need to.
I don't.
You know? Yeah, how about occasionally he just pops into the Baseball Today
I
logo?
think we need to have a button that we can press.
Yes.
We want him.
Yes.
A full-time Dan down there. I don't know if that works.
No. Do it full like with Rays, like a curtain or something.
He's a little too troublesome on old X Twitter.
My question is this: would we have raised the curtain for availability or kept it shut during the Yankees closer problem question?
Oh, closed. Closed. Yes. We do not want him spewing his Yankee stuff on here. We can't do that.
All right, fun
PG show.
Fun mid-show week. Midweek show. That's what it was. It was awesome. It was fun. We're going to be back at it again on Thursday. So for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday on Baseball Today, presented to you by 5 Hour Energy.